Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a Halloween tutorial on this Ice Queen look. So I'm starting with skin, and I'm just priming my skin with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich face base and then following it up with the Skin SPF 15 foundation. So I'm in the shade Porcelain for this. So I'm just patting this all over my face and dabbing in with a beauty blender. So I'm making sure to take this right over the eyes because I'm going to go in with face paint and things next, and I'm not going to apply any concealer with this look. And I'm also taking it back into the hairline. And now it's in with some white face paint, so I'm just applying this with the Real Technique Miracle Complexity Sponge. So I'm using the flat side, and I'm starting at the cheeks, so I'm just dabbing this on my cheekbones and taking it back into the hairline as well. And then I'm also taking it up to the forehead and just dabbing this up there too. Basically I decided to do all of my kind of icy look and on my face on just the one side, but you could do like all over your forehead or things like that. But the picture that I took inspiration from is from Pinterest, so I'll leave that linked in the description box below. But in that picture it's only on the one side of the face, and I thought that just looked really cool and amazing. So yeah, so I'm also taking the white face paint all the way down my neck because like in that picture that's how the girl has the kind of I think it was her costume idea was from like it was like to do with Frozen. So I think one of her friends was going as Elsa or something, and she was kind of like Elsa had frozen her or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I wanted to make it kind of influenced by that, but also a bit more intense. So I'm just kind of following that kind of picture and just taking all the white all the way down my neck and on my jawline. Because I am so pale, it looks as if the white isn't showing up on my skin that well, but I think it's just the lighting from when I was filming it, because in person the white showed up really well even though I am like the palest person ever, but just in this film, in this video it just looks like it doesn't show up too well. So now I'm going in with some blue face paint on the other side of the sponge, what am I talking about today? So I'm going in with blue face paint on the other side of the sponge, and I'm just kind of dabbing this on slightly because I want to make the white stand out a bit more and make it look a bit more kind of icy. So that's why I'm adding a little bit of blue, not too much, just enough so it kind of stands out on the skin. And then flipping to the other side of the sponge where I applied the white, I'm just kind of blending that blue in a little bit. Taking my beauty blender, I'm just blending out the edges of the face paint a little bit so it blends into the skin a bit more and doesn't look too like placed on top of the skin, so my skin looks a bit frostbitten. And now I'm just taking a flat kind of foundation brush. Well, I don't think it's actually a foundation brush, but it's just like a cheap makeup brush, and I'm just dabbing some more of that white on just to build up the intensity of the face paint, because when I was blending it out it kind of was like taking some of the paint away, and I wanted to build up the intensity of that white again. And again, I'm blending out the edges with my beauty blender. Now taking the Makeup Geek contour powder in the shade Breakup, I'm just going to contour. So I'm taking the Real Techniques contour brush and I'm just starting to contour the cheekbones, and I'm being really like heavy handed with this. I want a really strong contour so it looks like my cheeks are so sunken in, and yeah. So I probably should have done this before I added the white face paint, because on this side it was really hard to get it to blend, but I was applying more face paint on top of it anyway, so it didn't really matter too much. The side with the white face paint doesn't need to be too blended, but obviously the side where you don't have any face paint at all, try and get it as blended as possible while still being quite a harsh, strong contour. So I'm taking it a lot further in than I would normally do. I wouldn't take my contour like so close to my lip as I have today, but I'm also dragging it down a little bit so my cheeks look completely sunken in. as I said, I'm going back in with some more white face paint just on top of that contour, so I'm re-intensifying the white that I put on my jawline, and I'm also taking up the chin a little bit as well, just to make that whole right side of my, well, it is the right side of my face, but on screen it will look like the left, on the whole right side of my face, so it looks completely like kind of frostbitten. Next I'm going in with some silver glitter, so that is the Lit Cosmetics glitter in the shade Marilin Monroe, and I'm just patting this on with my fingers, like kind of all over the white face paint, just to give it a little bit of shine and yeah, to make it look a bit more icy. And because the face paint is still a little bit wet, I didn't need to apply any kind of glitter adhesive or glitter glue or anything like that, it just kind of stuck to the white face paint. The downside of using white face paint, it was all over my hair and yeah, it was making it stick into the most bizarre angles. But anyway, so next I'm on to the highlight, so I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit and I'm taking the shade Blue Ice on a Real Techniques fan brush. So I'm just deciding to use this shade to highlight my cheekbones. So this is the first time I've really used this kind of highlighting kit. It's the first time I've used this glow kit really on my face, like intensely, because I've used a couple of the shades, but most of them aren't really everyday appropriate wearable. So I'm just using this to really highlight the cheekbone on the side that I don't have any face paint, because the side with the face paint it didn't show up too much. So I'm just putting far too much highlight on as usual all over my cheekbones, and I'm also going to use it on my nose and Cupid's bow. Next in the Moonchild Glow Kit, I'm going in with the shade Blue Moon, I believe that was, and I'm taking that on a Real Techniques Bold Metals 200 brush, I believe, and I'm just using this to highlight my cheekbones. So again, I'm going really overboard with this shade, but I want everything to look very frostbitten. So I'm also taking this on the lips, so I'm highlighting the Cupid's bow, but then I'm also going over my whole lips with it, so it looks like my lips are completely frozen solid. Now it's time for brows, and because I'm going to be applying face paint over my eyebrows later, I decided not to go in with any of my like Brow Wiz or Dip Brow pomades. So I'm taking the Bobbi Brown shadow in the shade Saddle, and I'm just applying this with a winged liner brush. So I'm just applying this to my brows and just filling them in a little bit. I didn't want to make them too perfect or neat and tidy because I knew I was just going to ruin them with face paint soon anyway. Now I'm just brushing through them with a spoolie to distribute the colour, and then I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other brow. Next I'm setting my brows in place with my trusty Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Now it's on to eyes, so I'm taking the Makeup Geek shadow in the shade Sand Dollar. So I'm just going to apply this to my crease with a Zoeva Luxe 228 brush, I believe this one was. So I'm just going to pack this into the crease, not being too neat about it. I want it to be quite blown out, but everything doesn't need to be perfectly blended at this stage. So this is a kind of cool toned light brown shade, so I'm just applying this to the crease to make my eyes look quite sunken in. And then I'm following that up with Friend Zone, another Makeup Geek shadow on the same Luxe 228 brush. So I'm just intensifying that kind of dark, kind of taupey brown shadow in the crease. Next I'm going with a blue shadow, so this is Poolside from Makeup Geek. So I'm taking that on a Real Techniques base shadow brush and I'm just going to buffing that into the crease, focusing on the outer and inner corners. So this isn't like a matte blue eyeshadow, it's kind of a little bit shimmery, kind of sheer, so I thought that worked perfectly with this look. So it's not like an intense blue, it's kind of a bit watery looking, and I really think it worked well for this look. I'm blending that blue shade out with the same Luxe 228 that I used to apply Friend Zone and Sand Dollar. And then I'm just doing exactly the same on the other side. And now I'm going in with a Makeup Geek foiled shade in the shade High Wire. So it's like a gorgeous, really bright silver. So I'm just applying this with a shader brush all over the lid. And then I'm blending out the edges of this silver shade with the same brush I used to apply Poolside. And then I'm doing exactly the same on the other eye. Next I'm taking a deeper blue shade, so this is in the shade Peacock, and I'm taking this on the same base shadow brush from Real Techniques and I'm just buffing this into the outer corner of my eye. Now I'm taking that same Peacock shade on a pencil brush and I'm just placing that under the lower lash line. Then blending it out with a base shadow brush. Next I took some more of that silver High Wire shade and just placed it on the inner corner of, well, not really the inner corner, just the lower lash line, but on the inner third of the lower lash line, just to brighten up the inner corner a little bit. And also placed some on my Cupid's bow. Next, dipping back into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, I'm going with the shade Blue Moon and just placing that on the inner corner to brighten them up a little bit. And I'm also placing some more on the Cupid's bow and my nose. I'm wanting my lips and my nose to look so shiny, like so much more than I would normally wear. So I want my whole face to look very icy. Back in with the white face paint, I'm taking like a liner brush from Real Techniques and I'm just drawing some snowflakes on my face. So I'm starting with a large snowflake down my eye, and that was the main focus of the picture from Pinterest, which is where I got the inspiration for this look from. The girl had a big snowflake around the eye and it was so eye-catching and just looked really cool. So that's what I knew I definitely wanted to do today. So that is what I'm doing just now. So I'm just drawing little lines around about my eyes, so I'm completely surrounding my eye and taking them through my eyebrow as well. So that's why I said I didn't want to go too detailed with my, like how I was filling in my eyebrows. So I'm just kind of drawing the lines and just making it look like a snowflake. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just I've kind of done this like as neat as I possibly can, but yeah, I really like how this bit turned out. I'm just drawing some smaller snowflakes all over my face. So I'm doing these ones not as neat as I did the one around my eye. I'm just kind of drawing them on any old pattern, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just dotting them like all down my neck and all over my face. I'm just drawing a larger one just now. I want them all different sizes so they don't look too uniform. But yeah, this bit is like really up to yourself, like you can just do as many as you want or as little as you want. So I'm just kind of playing about with drawing these on my neck just now. I'm going with lashes, and I found these amazing House of Lashes Ice Queen lashes. So they are very glittery, but they've got blue glitter on them, which makes them perfect for this look. So now I'm just applying some Benefit Roller Lash Mascara and pulling some really bizarre mascara faces as usual. So yeah, so I've just applied those lashes. They are a little bit trickier to apply since they're covered in loads of glitter, but they went on eventually, just have to be patient. And that is the finished look. So all I've got to do is add on my Ice Queen crown, and that is me completely done. I am really happy with the way this look turned out, and I really hope you enjoyed. This is my first ever Halloween tutorial. I've never really done anything like this before, so please let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!